Welcome back to Stay in Your Lane with Ashley Battersby.
Welcome back, everybody. If you are just joining us, we are joined by Roxanne Christopher talking about life insurance
Let me ask
policy.
you a question.
Oh, boy.
Ashley Battersby,
Yes, ma'am.
what do you think is your greatest asset?
My health and wellness.
I'll give you a second guess.
My life.
Your income,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Makes sense.
Your income of what you contribute, what your earning capacity is for your life, right? So if you think about, let's say conservatively, you may make $60,000 a year, right? If you look at your entire working life, that could be well over $2 million that you can be generating, that your family will get access to. Your children, when that happens, could have access to. So if your life is taken away from you and your family no longer has access to that, shouldn't you be thinking about insuring your income? Because your income is the asset that's going to provide for a home, a vehicle, education, vacations, just the qualities of life that we hold near and dear. So why shouldn't that be the biggest asset that you insure?
You are absolutely correct.
Right? So insuring your income is what we do at CG Insurance. It's a very easy process. The application process is not very difficult, but there is an application process, and we ask you a series of questions about lifestyle, risk, medical challenges that you may or may not have, and there's a premium that is paid. And within a short period of time, you can have your tangible life insurance policy that protects your largest asset, which is your income, which is going to sustain your family for generations to come. So those are the types of conversations that we need to be having. You know, one of the things that we spoke about earlier is that there are families that have multiple people in a family that can secure a life insurance policy. So let's say you can have mom and dad and son and daughter that have a life insurance policy. They can put those policies together and use them as collateral to open up a great new business. You know, we've seen some wonderful businesses surge in our country just before COVID. Some really great, fantastic businesses. Entrepreneurship is the hub of any community and society. But your life insurance policies can help to be a bridge to realizing those dreams.
I never knew that.
Right? So that's something that CG Insurance, provides. And it's something that you can talk to our agents about. You know, there are many, once again, like I said earlier, it's not just about morbidity. It's how I can secure my income? How can I create generational wealth? Generational wealth really is meaning passing on a legacy from one generation to another, the financial legacy. And the intent you always want to do is protect the next generation.
Right.
Protect your children, protect your family. You don't want to have a burden on your family. You know, whenever something happens, you don't want them to be a burden if they have to take care of your final needs. But a life insurance policy, depending on where you are in your life, can be much bigger than taking care of your final needs.
Okay. And everybody these days wants to build generational wealth for their families and for their children.
It should be a goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It should be a goal.
And this is clearly one way that you could get that started.
One way to do it, and what we're doing at CG Insurance and the life insurance division is we are going from St. George to Somerset, educating our community. We are having conversations with associations and clubs. We're having lunch and learns because it's imperative upon me to make sure that we have this conversation and dialogue about how we can support our countries and our family members when in their time of need. I've experienced it, so I'm speaking from real life perspective and how sudden death can really throw your life upside down.
Right.
And that's not something you want to repeat. That's not something you want to experience. So if you have the opportunity to change that, why wouldn't you? But then also you can use your life insurance policy to possibly assist in sending your child to university.
I mean,
You
That's
know,
a no-brainer.
policies have changed.
Yes.
You know, times have changed, and CG Insurance has moved with the times. And so our team is there, able to meet with you and understand what your needs are, and guide you through the application process, which can be done seamlessly, step by step. And there's a lot of consultation that takes place, but we can make sure that your dreams are realized in regards to supporting your family.
Okay, I love it. So life insurance is multiple benefits,
Multiple benefits.
preparation instead of reacting
Absolutely.
after the fact, you know, seeing people scramble.
Plan for your future.
Yeah.
Plan for your life. Plan for your family.
Like you said, like how you're paying for vacations every year because we don't want to see
We save for vacation.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
We save for the, you know, the vehicles. We save for this. We save for that. It's very much something that everyone needs to consider. At least have the conversation. It takes no effort to meet with us. We can come to you, or you can come to our offices. You know, depending on where you are, our entire team can, you know, support you remotely. So, you know, it's a no-brainer. So it's very easy to work with us.
Okay.
You know, and CG Insurance is definitely on the cutting edge
I see.
of creating policies that are going to support our entire community of Bermuda.
And like you said, times change. So it's
Times have
always
changed
helpful when,
significantly.
yes, when companies keep up with those times.
And even when we first came in, you know, we first came in studio, it's amazing how people only think about death when it comes to a life insurance policy. And a life insurance policy is a tool to financial freedom.
Yep. And people don't like to talk about deaths. And then they're avoiding a very important topic.
But it's a reality, especially
Right.
look at road safety.
Yes, exactly.
Right? It's a reality.
Exactly.
You know, so let's try to alleviate that burden. If we're not here, how that contributes to our community, to our own individual household. Let's look about really leaving a legacy for our children.
And we
You know-
don't really hear about these kinds of things after a real fatality. You know how life insurance policies help the families, or if they don't have one, what they have to go through with their struggles
Correct.
and everything. You don't really hear about all of that.
And what we often hear about, which is something we need to move away from, is these fundraisers that are being held to support the families who were not prepared for the sudden death.
Right.
That's what we need to be moving away from. And there are tools and vehicles that can do that. And working with us and speaking to one of my team members at CG Insurance, we can work with the family and the individuals, and if it's a collective, because we also have collectives, you know, of multiple family members, multiple households that want to make sure that the families are taken care of. You know, I have individuals that say, if anything happens to me, I want to make sure that my wife never has anything she has to worry about. If she no longer has access to my income, I want to make sure my wife does not have to worry about where she's going to lay her head at night.
That's right.
And a
Prioritize.
absolutely. And a life insurance policy is not going to take away the grief
No.
and the pain, but your wife will not have to worry about where she has to lay her head at night.
Right. And these aren't fun conversations. Nobody wants to think about that, but it's a necessary conversation to have. And you have that plan, and then you don't have to worry about it. You can live your life
Absolutely.
afterwards while still preparing at the same time.
Absolutely.
You know?
And not having something that's going to be a burden. That's, you still can enjoy life, 'cause
Right.
we want you to. I
Right.
enjoy life.
Absolutely.
You know, I used to be the turn up queen, you know?
Yes.
So now it's about making sure that my son, my next Christopher generation, that he's going to be okay with or without his mother.
Right.
Right? He's going to be okay.
Right.
And it's about planning for that next generation.
So, what are some things that you would say people, like, stop people from getting a life insurance policy?
Great question. So I would have to say the most prevalent concerns, first of all, is cost. I can't afford it. And then secondly, people were very fearful about having the conversation about death and them not possibly being here. Well, the reality is we're not all going to live forever.
Right.
And then the other part is my health is bad, or I have health challenges. And, you know, many years ago, there were lots of health challenges that various insurance companies would not insure. But I would just advise and let the listening audience know that even today, CG Insurance will even cover persons that have HIV.
Oh, nice.
Right? People that have diabetes that are highly controlled. right? So, there are health challenges that will not prevent you from securing insurance.
Right.
So take that out of your mind. It's worth it to have the conversation, submit an application, and let's see how we can realize your dreams. But take out fear, take out cost. One thing I was saying to you is that lots of times, and I'm using our young men, I have a son that is on the cusp, of he thinks is a man, right? I have a son as well. So when our young man, go out on a Friday or Saturday night, and they may go from one establishment to the next establishment, and me and you are ladies, we know how they do the thing, right? And have these large tabs from place to place to place. So let's say conservatively, they can spend $300 to $400 on a Friday night, right?
Easily.
You can secure a very sizable policy for $300 a month.
So just stay here one Friday, maybe.
One Friday night.
And you can pay for your life insurance policy.
For your life insurance policy. That's something our people have to think about.
Right.
So what you spend on Friday or Saturday night, a life insurance policy can often, very likely, be less expensive than dinner with the girls, or brunch with the girls. So very affordable. You can have a great life insurance policy.
Okay.
Right? And so, another thing that we need to look at is, how to make it easier. How to make it easier for families to have these conversations. Right? And let's dispel the myth.
Right.
Let's take out the fear.
It's not a taboo conversation.
Not at all. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it with your families, with your loved ones. I can speak on a situation that we've had recently, with CG Insurance. We had a woman who was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and she had a life insurance policy. She did not tell her children about it because at the time her children were minors. And when the eldest daughter went 18, she got accepted to a very prestigious university and was very fearful about how she was going to pay for education. And of course, coping with the loss of just having, lost her mom.
Right.
She had a conversation with her grandmother, and her grandmother said, I think you need to go to CG Insurance. She came to us and found out that her mother had left a sizable policy just for her and her sister. And now her fear of attending university was thrown out the window. She was going to be taken care of easily. And this is our families, our community.
Wow.
Of this mother had the foresight before she got ill that I need to have a policy for my children. And she had a policy, and it worked when it needed to work. Right? The intent was the point. Which is the point.
Right.
It worked when it needed to work. And so, once again, as we've said this entire time, it's not going to eliminate the grief.
Right.
Right? But it will provide a bridge to make sure that your family is taken care of. And so this woman was able to put her children first and make sure her children now can go away to university and not have to worry about the cost incurred of making sure that your children have a tertiary education.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right?
That's
so
amazing. And
that's
perfect example.
A perfect example of what we were able to do at CG Insurance.
Absolutely.
A perfect example.
My goodness. I mean, if that doesn't make you think about getting a life insurance policy, I really don't know what will. It's definitely a conversation that we need to have with our families. So I urge you all to have that conversation. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after these messages.